We are live now. Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. We're going to recite Dua Kumayl. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Allahumma inni as'aluka birahmatika allati wasi'at kulla shay. وبقوتك التي قهرت بها كل شيء وخزلها كل شيء وذللها كل شيء وبجبروتك التي غلبت بها كل شيء وبعزتك التي لا يقوم لها شيء وبعظمتك التي ملأت كل شيء وبسلطانك الذي على كل شيء وبوجهك الباقي بعد فناء كل شيء وبأسمائك التي ملأت أركان كل شيء وبعلمك الذي أحاط بكل شيء وبنور وجهك الذي أضاء له كل شيء يا نور يا قدوس يا نور يا قدوس يا نور يا قدوس يا أول الأولين ويا آخر الآخرين اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحبك الإثم اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل النكام اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تغير النعم اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحبس الدعاء اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل البلاء اللهم اغفر لكل ذنب أذنبته وكل خطيئة أخطأتها اللهم إني أتقرب إليك بذكرك وأستشفئ بك إلى نفسك وأسألك بجودك أن تدنيني من قربك وأن توزعني شكرك وأن تلحمني ذكرك اللهم إني أسألك سؤال خاضع متذلل خاشع أن تسامحني وترحمني وتجعلني باسمك راضيا قانعا وفي جميع الأحوال متواضعا اللهم وأسألك سؤال من اشتدت فاقته وانزل بك عند الشدائد حاجته وأزم فيما عندك رغبته اللهم أزم سلطانك وعلى مكانك وخفي مكروك وظهر أمرك وغلب كفرك وجرت قدرتك ولا يمكن الفرار من حكومتك اللهم لا أجد لذنوبي غافرا ولا لكبائحي ساترا ولا لشيء من عملي القبيح بالحسن مبدلا غيرك لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك وبحمدك ظلمت نفسي ظلمت نفسي ظلمت نفسي وتجرأت بجهلي وسكنت إلى قديم ذكرك لي ومنك علي اللهم مولاي كم من قبيح سترت وكم من فاضح من البلاء أكلت وكم من إيثار وكيت وكم من مكروه دفعت وكم من ثناء جميل لست أهلا له نشرت اللهم عظم بلائي وأفرط بي سوء حالي وكسرت بي أعمالي وكدت بي أغلالي وحبسني عن نفعي بعد أعمالي وخدتني الدنيا بغرورها ونفسي بجنايتها ومثالي يا سيدي فأسألك بعزتك أن لا يحجب عنك دعائي سوء عملي وفعالي ولا تفضحني بخفي ما اطلعت عليه من سري ولا تعاجلني بالعقوبة على ما عملته في خلواتي من سوء فعلي وإساءتي ودوام تفريطي وجهالتي وكثرة شهواتي وغفلتي وكن اللهم بعزتك لي في كل الأحوال رؤوفا وعلي في جميع الأمور أطوفا إلهي وربي من لي غيره أسأله كشف ضري والنظر في أمري إلهي ومولاي أجريت علي حكما اتبعت فيه هوى نفسي ولم أحترس فيه من تزيين عدوي وغرني بما أحوى وأسأله على ذلك القضاء فتجاوزت بما جرى علي من ذلك بعض حدودك وخالفت بعض أوامرك فلك الحمد علي في جميع ذلك ولا حجة لي فيما جرى علي فيه قضاء وألزمني حكمك وبلاؤك وقد أتيتك يا إلهي بعد تقصيري وإسرافي على نفسي معتذرا نادما منكسرا مستكينا مستغفرا منيبا مكرا مذعنا مؤترفا لا أجد مفرا مما كان مني ولا مفزعا أتوجه إليه في أمري غير قبولك عذري وإدخالك إياي في سعة من رحمتك اللهم فاقبل عذري وارحم شدة ضري وفكني من شد وصاكي يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني وركة جلدي ودكة عزمي يا من بدا خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي أبني لابتداء كرمك وصالح برك بي يا إلهي وسيدي وربي أتراك معذبي بنارك بعد توحيدك وبعد ما انطوى عليه قلبي من معرفتك ولهجابه لساني من ذكرك واعتقده زميري من حبك وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاضعا لربوبيتك هيهات أنت أكرم من أن تزيئ من ربيت أو تبعد من أدنيت أو تشرد من آويت أو تسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمته وليت شعري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي أتسلط النار على وجوه خرت لعظمتك ساجدا وعلى ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقا وبشكرك مادحا وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك محققا وعلى زمارها حوت من الإن بك حتى صارت خاشعة، وعلى جوارحها سأت إلى أوطان تأبدك طائعة، وأشارت باستغفارك مذئنة. ما هكذا الظن بك، ولا أخبرنا بفضلك أنت يا كريم يا رب، يا كريم يا رب، يا كريم يا رب. وأنت تعلم ضعفي عن قليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها، وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها، على أن ذلك بلاء ومكروه قليل مكسور، يسير بقاء، كثير مدته. فكيف احتمالي لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها، وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه، ولا يخفف عن أهله، لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك، وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض يا سيدي. فكيف بي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين، يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي. لأي الأمور إليك أشكو، ولما منها أزج وأبكي، لأليم العذاب وشدته أم لطول البلاء ومدته. فلئن سيرتني للعقوبات مع أعدائي، وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك، وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك، فهبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي. صبرت على عذابك، فكيف أصبر على فراقك؟ وهبني صبرت على حر نارك، فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك؟ أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجائي يفوق؟ فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا، لئن تركتني ناطقا لأزجن إليك بين أهلها زجيجا عاملين، ولا أصرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين، ولا أبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين، ولا أنادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين، يا غاية آمال العارفين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين، ويا إله العالمين. أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجن فيها بمخالفته، وذاك طعم عذابها بمعصيته، وحبس بين دباكها بجرمه وجريرته، وهو يزج إليك زجيج معمل رحمتك، ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك، ويتوسل إليك بربوبيتك يا مولاي. فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك؟ أم كيف تؤلمه النار وهو يأمل فزمك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف يهلكه لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوته وترى مكانا؟ أم كيف يستمل عليه زفيرها وأنت تعلم ضعفه؟ أم كيف يتكلكل بين أطباقها وأنت تعلم صدقا؟ أم كيف تزجره زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا رب؟ أم كيف يرجو فضلك في إتكه منها فتتركه فيها؟ هيهات، ما ذلك الظن بك ولا المعروف من فضلك ولا مشبه لما عملت به الموحدين من برك وإحسانك. فباليقين أقطع لولا ما حكمت به من تعذيب جاحدي وكزيت به من إخلاد معاندي. أجعلت النار كلها بردا وسلاما وما كان لأحد فيها مكرا ولا مقاما. لكنك تكدست أسماؤك، أقسمت أن تملأها من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين، وأن تخلد فيها المعاندين. وأنت جل ثناؤك قلت مبتدئا وتطولت بالإنعام متكرما. أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون. إلهي وسيدي، فأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها وبالكزية التي حكمتها وحكمتها وغلبت من عليه أجريتها، أن تحب لي في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم أجرمته وكل ذنب أذنبته وكل قبيح أسررته وكل جهل عملته كتمته أو أعلنته أخفيته أو أظهرته وكل سيئة أمرت بإثباتها الكرام الكاتبين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جوارحي. وكنت أنت الرقيب علي من ورائهم والشاهد لما خفي عنهم، وبرحمتك أخفيت وبفضلك سترت، وأن توفر حظي من كل خير أنزلت أو إحسان فضلت أو بر نشرت أو رزق بسطت أو ذنب تغفر أو خطأ تستر. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب. يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي ومالك ركي، يا من بيده ناصيتي، يا أليما بزري ومسكنتي، يا خبيرا بفقري وفاقتي. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب. أسألك بحقك وقدسك وعظم صفاتك وأسمائك أن تجعل أوقاتي في الليل والنهار بذكرك مأمورة وبخدمتك موصولة وأعمالي عندك مقبولة، حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا. يا سيدي يا من عليه معولي، يا من إليه شكوت أحوالي. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا قوي على خدمتك جوارحي واشدد على العزيمة جوانحي وهب لي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في اتصال بخدمتك حتى أسرح إليك في ميادين السابقين وأسرع إليك في البارزين واشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين وأدنو منك دنو المخلصين وخافك مخافة المؤمنين واجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين اللهم ومن أرادني بالسوء فأرده ومن كادني فكده واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نصيبا عندك واقربهم منزلة منك وخسهم زلفة لديك فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك وجدني بجودك وعطف علي بمجدك واحفظني برحمتك واجعل لساني بذكرك لهجا وقلبي بحبك متيما ومن علي بحسن إجابتك وأكلني عسرتي واغفر زلتي فإنك كزيت على عبادك بعبادتك وأمرتهم بدعائك وزمنت لهم الإجابة فإليك يا ربي نسبت وجهي وإليك يا ربي مددت يدي فبعزتك استجب لي دعائي وبلغني مناي ولا تعتأ من فضلك رجائي واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي يا سريع الرضا يا سريع الرضا يا سريع الرضا اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء فإنك فعال لما تشاء يا من اسمه دواء وذكره شفاء وطاعته غنى ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء وسلاحه البكاء يا سابق النعم يا دافع النكم يا نور المستوحشين في الظلام يا عالما لا يؤلم صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل بما أنت أهله وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم. جزاك الله. Accept your recitation. Sheikh Amin online.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. So I don't know if my internet is working fine. If we run into problems, brothers and sisters, we'll try to fix it. For some reason, I felt that my internet connection might be a little choppy. Inshallah, it'll be fine.
This is good so far.
Is it good?
Yep.
Alhamdulillah. Before I begin tonight's the khutbah, and as we wait a few minutes for people to tune in, two things I wanted to speak about. Number one, of course, what's been happening, and what's been happening, with the George Floyd killing, and the discussions that are coming up these days, very grassroots discussions, aiming at the core of how people are when it comes to race and this whole idea of race and racism. Alhamdulillah, there's been a lot of talks here and there about it. I think everyone has been keeping up with everything that's going on. There's one aspect of it, one of my friends had brought up online. I just want to share. This is important, especially for our younger brothers and sisters who are watching. And alhamdulillah, like this is something that no matter how much the older ones would tell us, or even myself being one of the older ones now, just a few years ago it seemed, I still remember certain individuals even who had a lot of trust in the system. Yeah. And no matter how much you would tell them that, like, no, it's not like that, you don't understand, there's a lot more going on, you felt like they were they just couldn't accept it. But now what's happened over these past few years, and especially now, I think that our brothers and sisters our younger ones are slowly understanding that no, it's a very broken system. As a matter of fact, it was built broken. It's not like it was even built proper to begin with, and that now it's kind of broken. No, there's been problems from the beginning, going all the way back. And it's not just about racism, it's about other things. I think personally, if I was to break it down in one word, the problem is arrogance, brothers and sisters. It all goes back to the ego. It all goes back to being self-centered, and my interests, my pleasures, my whatever. Everyone else has to pay for that. This is what the outcome is, and it's more than that. Of course, it's more than that. But one of the main issues here is arrogance. There are other issues as well, very underlying problems that the people out there have. It seems. I was shocked. I was very, very shocked to see. I hadn't seen this in the past few days, but I saw it today. But it had to do with days ago, actually. What I noticed was that there are people out there who, in a mocking fashion, were reenacting that scene of George Floyd on the ground with a knee on his neck. Like this shows how deep the problem is. That there are different pictures from different people reenacting that scene, and kind of laughing about it. And this shows that yes, there's a lot of work. And it also shows one thing, brothers and sisters, and that is that no matter how much you are progressive, your country is progressive, you're the best country in the world, whatever you want to call it, if that's the case even, at the end of the day, this shows that these things don't contribute to a person's humanity progressing. Humanity, insaniya, is one thing. Maddiya and materialism and material progression is another thing. These two cannot be mixed up. Now, alhamdulillah, in a sense, of course, alhamdulillah, that at least people are waking up, and it's not just our youth now, it's everybody. But one of my friends brought up a good point, and he said, I wish I had the wording right now in front of me, if I can pull it up real quick. This was online, where he's talking about how he's when these things happen, brothers and sisters, you can't just have a narrow scope and a narrow vision, tunnel vision towards these issues. No, it's more than that. He brought something up, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen anytime soon that the people of this country will understand that this is the case, right? But here it is. Let me read it to you. I think we're still a long way from the American masses understanding this part, because the media has really worked hard to hammer other mentalities and ideologies into people's minds. But this is a reality. It says, I hope this generation of Americans now better understands why resistance movements appear shortly after the American military lands on foreign soil. Watching scenes from our own cities of cowardly police violence, one can only imagine what our military does thousands of miles away with the cameras off. This sends shivers down one's spine. It does. What goes on post 9/11 when they attack Iraq, What happens in Afghanistan? The drone strikes. And people, we can't make this about a president or another. Yes, this is a system. This is the policy. These are the foreign policies. Yes. And these days, I'm trying to find online, on social media, trying to find those people out there who will also pay attention to this aspect. Yes, no one's saying shift the focus right now. The focus should be there on what's happening domestically, but you feel that, what a waste that people aren't connecting these dots to understand that, wow, these are our own people. These are the American people that the police are confronting. And you see the videos of the violence in these past few days of peaceful protesters being attacked in the craziest ways. Then what about what happens on foreign soil? Yes, you watch all these news outlets now, they're all worried. They're like, look, he called in the military on the American military on American soil. Wow, what happens on foreign soil? What happens in the Middle East? These are all things to think about. So the young ones out there who now understand that, wow, the system is broken here, they have to also remember what's happening outside as well. This is just one aspect of it I wanted to touch on that is different than everything else right now that's being spoken about. That we don't forget about that as well. That's one point I wanted to speak about. Another point before we get into our khutbah tonight is regarding Imam Khomeini rahmatullah alayh. Yesterday, I think it was, June 3rd, is the anniversary of his demise. I just want to share one line with all of you that you've probably heard, that Shaheed Muhammad Baqir as-Sadr said, rahmatullahi alayh, which his student Sayyid Mahmoud Hashimi Shahrudi is the one that, towards the end of my stay in Qom, I would go to his dars. He was the student of Shaheed Sadr. And so Shaheed al-Sadr, of course, he became Shaheed by Saddam Hussein and his cronies. And he has a line about Imam Khomeini. Brothers and sisters, I will say this, that it was a miracle what Imam Khomeini accomplished. In a time when there is no social media, a time when there's no internet, a time when all you have is maybe cassette tapes and letters going around a little bit. How is it possible for someone in exile, for their efforts to bear fruit is beyond me. It's a miracle. Anyway, Shaykh al-Sadr, he says, melt. In Farsi we say dhob or zob sho. Melt in Imam Khomeini the same way he was melted, or he melted in Islam. Meaning it was all Islam. His whole existence was Islam. And that's why I think he was able to accomplish what he did. There was no nafs, there was no ego left for him. And that's why Allah, in return, blessed whatever he did. Wherever there is more ikhlas, brothers and sisters, wherever there is more fairness to others, because I've destroyed my own ego, Allah gives more barakah. But on the flip side, the less ikhlas, the more I think about how to sit this person down, how to shut that person up, yes, how to make myself shine, the less barakah is there. And so as a result, no matter how much I try, yes, I won't make it. I won't get to that desired result I want to. And even if I do, I've ruined my akhirah for it. Yes, and these are points to remember. So inshallah, you remember Imam Khomeini and recite the Fatiha for him as well. Rahmatullahi alayh. And with that, I want to, inshallah, begin tonight's Nahjul Balagha session. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Al-Khutbatul Thaniyah wal-Ishrun. Khutbah number 22 of Nahjul Balagha. It says, حين بلغه خبر الناكثين ببيعته وفيها يذم عملهم ويلزمهم دم عثمان ويتهددهم بالحرب. All right, so this khutbah number 22, it says here, this has to do when the news that the nakithin, those who broke their oath with him, broke their bay'ah and allegiance with him, the news of them came to him. Yes, and In this khutbah, he scolds them and he speaks about the blood of Uthman that is on their hands, which is an interesting point we'll get to. And he also threatens them with war and sword and drawing the sword on them. This khutbah is, once again, it's a part of a bigger, they say it's a part of a bigger one, that Sayyid al-Radi in Nahjul Balagha, what he's done is that he's chopped it up. And a piece of it we had before, they say, in khutbah number 10. This is one of the theories that's out there. I personally agree. I mean, when you look at the different khutbahs in Nahjul Balagha that have to do with the Battle of Jamal, you feel that some of them are linked together as if they were from one khutbah. Khutbah number 10, khutbah number 22 and 26 and 172. These are kind of they're kind of harmonious, and so some have postulated that yes, these were all one khutbah, maybe that he cut into different parts and he brought in to different parts of his Nahjul Balagha. Someone might ask, why did he do that? Why didn't he just bring the whole thing? Well, as we said before, that is not the purpose of Nahjul Balagha. Nahjul Balagha is not a book of hadith like other hadith books. It's a different type of book where his criteria was different in bringing different khutbahs and different sayings of Imam Ali. So he says, ألا وإن الشيطان قد ذمر حزبه واستجلب جلبه ليعود الجور إلى أوطانه ويرجع الباطل إلى نصابه. So I want you to imagine, put yourself, put things into in context here. The Imam has received news that the Nakithin comes from nakth. To do nakth means to break something. Yes, and usually it's used for, we have this term used in the Quran as well, those who break their oath. And so the news of them and what they have in mind comes to Imam Ali. And you'll see, as we go through the khutbah, you'll see what he actually, what they have said is, because Imam Ali responds to what they have said. So he says, verily, Shaitan has, mustered up, and you can say, has worked up his party, his army. His means party. وَاسْتَجْلَبَ جَلْبَهُ, and has brought together his army. Yes. So the Imam, I've said this before as well, the Imam is very clear that this was a satanic thing. It was based on batil and falsehood. That's what it was. There's no way to justify it, brothers and sisters, because if it was something that was sanctioned Islamically, was allowed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was satisfied with, Imam Ali would not word it like this, wouldn't label it with a shaitani, satanic movement. He wouldn't. But yes, he does. He says that shaitan is the one who is mustering up this group and this army, yes, to come and fight us. What's the purpose of all of this? Well, the purpose of all of this is لِيَعُودَ الْجَوْرُ إِلَىٰ أَوْطَانِهِ. Jawr, oppression, these people who want to start this battle of Jamal, what they're after is, and their objective in all of this is, to take oppression and dhulm doesn't always mean bloodshed. Dhulm means anything that is not supposed to happen, is not in its place, yes, is dhulm. When you don't put something in its place where it's not supposed to be, it's dhulm. If you take the money from somebody that belongs to them, put it in someone else's hand, this is dhulm. It says, the whole point is that shaitan wants to bring back dhulm and jawr and oppression and put it where it was before. وَيَرْجَعَ الْبَاطِلُ إِلَى نِصَابِهِ. And batil goes back to where it was before as well. Falsehood and oppression. Now what's he talking about here, the Imam? When he says that shaitan has brought together his party, hizb. The Quran also speaks of hizbu shaitan, the party of shaitan, the group of shaitan, the team of shaitan. Yes? Who is it referring to? Yes, who is Imam Ali referring to here? They say that is talking about all of those people, all those individuals during the time of Uthman that were unjustly sitting in certain positions and having certain authorities just because, for example, they were related to Uthman, just because they were part of Bani Umayyah. Yeah, that's why. He's referring to these people who unjustly have occupied certain seats, referred to them as Hizb al-Shaytan. Hizb al-Shaytan. Now, we all have to be, very careful that, and at a lower level, of course, sometimes this might apply to us. A person who has occupied a certain position or seat when they're not qualified to do so. Yes, this person is in the wrong spot, and this person can get themselves ready to be held accountable on the day of judgment. So it's very, very, it's something, especially when it has to do with the treasury of the Muslimin, the money of the Muslimin, the rights of the Muslimin, and so on and so forth. There is no joking here. I still remember years ago in Jum'ah Salat, one time, Ayatollah Jawadi Amuli, he said this straight up. I don't remember what the occasion was, what had happened, but there was something that had happened and it was not allowed. It was something that is frowned upon Islamically. When it came to, it had to do something with money and the financial aspect of things, and how certain things had taken place that are not allowed. He really spoke out. He said, "Look, Allah will forgive for a lot of things, but He will. There's one thing is going to be hard, if not impossible. I don't remember the exact wording He used. That Allah will just not forgive, and that is these types of things that have to do when you're in a position of power, and yet you misuse that, and yet you are not qualified to be there. Yes, these are things that Allah is going to be very strict on, and is not going to go easy on those who commit such sins." All right. Wallahi ma ankaru alayya munkaran wala ja'alu bayni wa baynahum nasifa. He swears by Allah. So he wants to make an important point here. He swears by Allah. He says, look, they have not been able to point out and identify any munkar within me when it comes to me and the way I'm dealing with things. Yes, Imam Ali, this is what you've done wrong. That's what you've done wrong. He says, they can't say that to me because I haven't done anything wrong. Have I made a halal haram? No. Have I made a haram halal? No. And as a result, now that this is their judgment, this is their verdict, that we want to fight you, there is no justice in this. وَلَا جَعَلُوا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَهُمْ نَصِفًا. They have not put justice as that which is going to be between me and them. Yes? Justice is not the criterion. Something else is the criterion. And this is something that Imam Hussein also brings up. Imam Hussein also brings up the fact that when on Ashura, when he asks these people who are fixated on taking his life and his family's life, and whoever is going to defend him, they're fixated on that. He says, what have I done wrong? Have I made a halal haram? Have I made a haram halal? In other words, if this was the case, then you were justified in what you're doing. Yes? But that's not the case with me. I mean, this is such an important thing that Imam Ali alayhi salam, after Khilafah is taken from him, one of the main reasons that he himself says in Nahjul Balagha is that he sees that the religion of God is close to being compromised by those who are enemies of Islam outside the Islamic central government. And so one of the reasons, if not one of the main reasons, definitely one of the main reasons why he steps back, and in khutbah shiqiyya he says, I felt that it's better and it's wiser for me to just bite the bullet, so to speak. Yeah, one of the reasons was because there were people who were claiming falsely that they're prophets, and they want to change the religion of God now. That's not going to be allowed by Imam Ali alayhi salam, even if it means he relinquishes something that it belongs to him. And so this is something from this khutbah, from the khutbah of Imam Hussein on Ashura, and other instances we find a lot that you don't mess around with the deen of Allah and the precepts of the faith, or else it is justified for the other Muslimin to come against you. And this brings me to a very important point, and that is that brothers and sisters and younger ones who might be listening, if you have an issue with one of the tenets or precepts of the faith, one of the wajibs or harams of the faith, right? Don't try to make it the opposite of what it is in order to not feel guilty that you're doing that specific thing. No, very straight up just say, oh Allah, I'm sorry, I'm too weak to, live up to this obligation. Am I saying that you're going to be forgiven necessarily? No, I'm not saying that, because you yourself are acknowledging it's a sin, so you should at least try to put it aside. But what I am saying is this: don't dig the hole that Shaitan dug for himself, and start trying to explain to yourself and to justify to yourself that, this must, 1400 years ago, this ruling must have changed. No. Who says, are you a mujtahid? If a mujtahid says that based on their take of certain sources of Islam, that's fine. But you're not allowed to say that. You and I, we're not experts in that field. So if we feel that something might not be true, the Maraji might have made a mistake, Bismillah, you can become a mujtahid yourself and then do your own ijtihad. If not, brothers and sisters, this is not how it works. We're not going to compromise on our akhirah for things like this. It's that important that Imam Ali is implying, and Imam Hussein is implying, that if this was the case with me, that I'm changing Allah's religion, then yeah, you had a justification to attack me. But the fact of the matter is that no, it's not the case. Yes. The Imam goes on here. So far he's speaking vaguely, right? He's speaking vaguely. He's saying they didn't find anything problematic. They can't find anything problematic in me. They want to take things back to the way they were before and all of that. But then he gets a little more specific. He starts talking about what certain details when it comes to why they're doing what they're doing. So he says, وَإِنَّهُمْ, these ashabul jamal, these people who want to now fight us, they innahum la yatlubuna haqqan hum tarakuhu wa daman hum safakuhu. Okay, so this is shedding more light now on the problem and why they're doing what they're doing. I'm going to share with you 3 or 4 stories here that will kind of serve as evidence for Imam Ali's claim here. What is his claim? He says, they are after a right, a haqq. They are trying to gain a haqq and a right that they themselves deserted and left, and a blood that they themselves spilled. Now they're coming after me with the excuse of that blood. What right is he talking about? Apparently he's talking about the right of Uthman. Uthman had the right of Khilafah, yes? He had the right to live and all of these things, yes? You had to protect him, and all this is a right of Uthman upon all the people. He's the Khalifa, he should be protected, he's not to be killed and all assassinated and all of that. He's saying now they're coming to me, yes, holding me accountable for the right of Uthman, while they themselves didn't even uphold it. And of course, we all know, brothers and sisters, in history you find this, and even our brothers in Ahl Sunnah also say this, that Ali ibn Abi Talib, he really did whatever he could to protect Uthman when Uthman was when he was besieged and they eventually assassinated him. So he says that this is a haqq that you're coming to me for, trying to get the haqq of Uthman from me, while you yourselves deserted him. And not only deserted this haqq of Uthman, didn't live up to this haqq of Uthman in your eyes, but rather, daman hum safakuh. Not only did you desert it, not only did you not uphold it, you are coming to me, holding me accountable for the blood of Uthman, well, this is something that your hands are stained with. Yes. So I want to share with all of you, because someone might say, we never knew about this. How were they involved? Talha, Zubair, and others in Jamal, how are they involved in the assassination of Uthman? We've heard that they were sitting in their homes, and yes, that is true. According to the accounts that we see, it's not like Talha or Zubair were there besieging the palace of Uthman and eventually going in, storming the palace and killing him. No. But I want to share with you a few things here that we have in history. And as a matter of fact, today took a long time to prepare for, because I wanted to actually go and find these in the books. So I had to gain access to, for example, Tarikh al-Tabari, and to look these up. And there were other books that I had to look at as well. Now, this story that I'm going to share with you is the first of 4 pieces of evidence that we can share that show that, look, true, they were not directly involved, but there were people behind the scenes instigating and pushing in that direction. This story is in Tarikh al-Tabari. Before I read this story, I want us to pay attention to the fact that you can't, brothers and sisters, you can't just now take this story and just say, oh, look, we have proof now. Everyone has to listen to this. Tarikh al-Tabari is not ma'soom. The Shia school of thought might take certain reports of it, of this history book, and might dismiss some of it. The Sunni school of thought, same thing. They will take certain reports and they will dismiss certain reports. So we have to understand that. But at the end of the day, a person who wants to do research in this will find these stories mentioned as evidence, as bits and pieces here and there that one can put together to come to a conclusion. So it goes like this. It says that when those who were the rioters came and besieged the palace of Uthman, still, things had not gotten very serious, and so Uthman, was sending people out and in from the palace. Of course, he couldn't step out himself, but others were coming and going. And so it says here, Imam Ali alayhi salam was in that time was in Khaybar, taking care of some business probably. Now, mind you, this is like 24 or 25 years after the Prophet's demise we're talking about. So let's keep that in mind as well. I don't want anyone to think that he was there for the Battle of Khaybar. No, that Battle of Khaybar happened during the Prophet's time. We're talking about 25 years later. So he was there for some other business apparently. Either, it was something related to, the government and the Khalifa asking him to go do something, maybe, I don't know. Or no, it was a personal matter that he was there. Anyway, he comes back to Medina. Uthman finds out that he's in Medina, so he asks the Imam to come. And the Imam comes to him. And so Uthman speaks to him. He says, look, I have the right of Islam with you, or over you. I have the right of brotherhood over you. And I have the right of relation, like just blood ties over you. Yes? And even before Islam, we had a relationship, which I don't know exactly what he's referring to here. I wasn't able to find that. Anyway, help me out in this situation, right? We're both Muslim. The right of Islam over you means we're both Muslim. We're both brothers in the sense of, we're close and all of that, Muslim brothers and all that. We also are related to each other. We're from Quraysh. Yes, you're Bani Hashim, I'm Bani Umayyah. At the end of the day, we're distant cousins, And so Imam Ali goes to the home of Talha, it says in this report. I actually looked it up to make sure it's there, and yes, it was there in Tarikh al-Tabari. I don't know if I closed the window for it or not. I can give you address too, or I have it here. I put it down. And we'll get to it in the end if I don't forget. All right. So he goes to Talha's home, and Talha has a bunch of people there too. Yes, and these are people who are protesting. They're protesters. And he says, according to this report, he says, oh, Talha, what's all this noise that you're making, huh? What's all this commotion that you've stirred? What's going on? What's up? Talha says to him, are you saying this? while it's already too late, you're like probing into this whole matter. It's too late. We're done. We're done with Uthman. He's messed up enough, according to this. Shar and fasad has accumulated. Yes, evil and corruption is all over the place. So Imam Ali sees that no, he can't really speak to Talha. Talha, and brothers and sisters, even in the battle of Jamal itself, you feel Zubair was a little softer compared to Talha. Talha wasn't budging. But Zubair, yeah, he had a little soft spot for Imam Ali. Of course, they were first cousins, Imam Ali and Zubair. But Talha, no. Anyway, so Talha is not budging. So Imam Ali goes, it says he left the home of Talha and goes to the treasury, the Baytul Mal. He says, open the doors. Now think here, this is interesting. It kind of caught my attention as well, that Imam Ali is saying, open the doors of the treasury. Imam Ali, you're not an authority, you're not the Khalifa. How are you asking for this? It shows that he had a high rank, of course, to the point that he can make such demands. So he says, open the door. And the report says they didn't know where the keys were. And so he says, break it open. Look at it, shows how much authority he did have even before he was Khalifa, to an extent. Of course, to an extent, sometimes these are formalities. Sometimes they will make people feel that a person will have authority, but in reality, they will undermine him or pull the rug from under him when the time is right, So anyway, but in this case, Imam Ali says, break it open, and they break it open. He goes in and takes out the money of the treasury, and he starts distributing it amongst the people. Yes. In other words, it's as if my take on this is, brothers and sisters, he's saying, this is the problem and this is the solution. All right. Stop keeping the wealth to yourselves. Let it go to the people that it's supposed to go to. And so this is distributed to the people. And slowly it says that even those who were in the home of Talha, even they start coming out. They even start coming out and they go for the money. It's all about the money. And so it says here that Talha was left alone in his home, and he eventually gets up and goes to Uthman. And he tells Uthman, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. Yes, I was trying to do something that Allah got in the way of. Yes, Allah got in the way of, and now I am repenting to Allah. So he sees that he's lost the following, he's lost the support, and so now he comes to Uthman because the tables turn all of a sudden. The tables, Allah, in a snap of a finger, the tables will turn, and so before you know it, he's all alone, and everyone's happy now because they got what they wanted, and so he comes to Uthman, so trying to fix things up, and he says, I do tawbah because I was trying to do something, accomplish something, but I wasn't able to, and I was wrong. It says here that Uthman tells him, by Allah, you're not here for tawbah. It's because you were defeated, yes, and that's why you're here now. It's for your own good. And may Allah avenge me or take revenge from you for what you've done. All right, so that's one. It shows that there were ill intentions here. Our ulama, they show that they use this one example as evidence that, okay, there was not a good relationship here between the two. Once again, brothers and sisters, we have to be mindful of the fact that our brothers from Ahl Sunnah, they will probably not believe in the authenticity of these reports. But these are coming in the book of At-Tabari, as I said. Once again, for whoever wants to do research. Once again, some people might believe in the principle of Adalat al-Sahaba, some might not. Some might believe in a narrow scope of it, some in a broader scope of it. At the end of the day, these are out there for people who want to look into details and see what they can get out of it. Another one is, this one was interesting because our scholars have pointed this out. It was interesting that they've even noticed this. That, and by the way, the address to that first story was Tariq al-Tabari. The edition that I had access to was volume 4, page 431. Okay. This second one is interesting because it says after the assassination of Uthman, that assassination that I've said before should not have happened. Ali ibn Abi Talib was worried about it. In Nahjul Balagha, he says it. He explicitly says this is not supposed to happen. He tells Uthman, don't be that one, that person that will be assassinated and will cause problems for the rest of the ummah forever. So after that assassination happens, yes, it says a person by the name of Saudan bin Hamran, yes, he comes out of the palace. He's one of the ones who was involved directly, apparently, in the assassination of Uthman. He exits the palace and he is saying, Aina Talha ibn Ubaidullah. Aina Talha ibn Ubaidullah. Where is Talha, son of Ubaidullah? Where is he? Well, what do you want to tell him? قَدْ قَتَلْنَا ibn Affan. We've killed and assassinated the son of Affan, Uthman bin Affan. So the question here is, why is this guy looking for Talha right after he has assassinated Uthman? That's the question. Is there something in it for him? Or is it something that Talha maybe would have been happy to hear about? Or even more than that? So these are things, once again, pieces that come together. Once again, this is something that some might agree with and some might disagree with. Some might feel is in accordance with Adalat al-Sahaba, or some may feel is not in accordance with it, and thus they might put it aside. Once again, we're looking at some of this raw material. And this is in Tariq al-Tabari. Once again, the edition that I was referring to was volume 4, page 379. All right, number 3. This one's famous. I found, more than 1 or 2 or 3 sources. They might not be first-hand Sunni sources, but they are sources that the Shi'i school will refer to a lot more. But they are, at the end of the day, some of them were, from what I remember, I'll have to double check to make sure, but from what I remember when I was looking at it, I noticed that there were some Sunni sources there as well. Anyway, it's a famous line by Aisha that she would refer to Uthman as al-Na'thal. Yes, and it's a derogatory term. And she had a little fallout with Uthman. From what I found, yes, during the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab, Umar ibn al-Khattab started giving her more stipend than the other wives of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he's giving her a greater stipend, a higher stipend. And after Uthman dies, after Umar dies and Uthman comes to power, he continues that for 6 years, the first half of his khilafah. For 6 years, he's also giving that stipend. But then after the 6 years, he discontinues that extra and gives her the same amount as other wives of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And she didn't like that. She wasn't happy about that. And so in the masjid, she comes and she argues a little with Uthman, and eventually she says, "Uqtulu na'thalan." Kill this na'thal. Laqad kafar. He's become kafir, according to some of the reports that I saw. And so they had this issue between them, and she was upset about that. But I want you to look at the wording here. Uqtulu, kill, take his life. So this also they'll say this is also evidence that maybe there were some hands behind the scenes. There were some orders maybe behind the scenes. We don't know. But these are what convinced some people to feel that yes, there was something going on. There's this last one that I will share with you from Ibn Abil Hadid, the famous commentator of Nahjul Balagha, who the Shi'i school, of course, says that was a Mu'tazilite Sunni. And of course, the moderate, I don't like to use this word like this, but let's say this, the non-Salafi or non-Wahhabi school of Sunni Islam, you'll find that maybe they'll also acknowledge that he was Sunni. But I think when it comes to the Wahhabi school of thought, that they refer to him as a Shia, which we don't believe he's Shia. If you look at the introduction to his book, you'll know he's not Shia. Right at the beginning line, the first lines of his intro, or preface to his commentary. Anyway, he says that yes, she had major problems with Uthman, and she had hung one of the shirts of the Holy Prophet in her home. And those who would come to visit her, she would say, look at this clothing, look at this shirt of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It still has not gone old, yet the sunnah of the Holy Prophet has gone old. In other words, it's become obsolete and it's not being acted upon anymore by Uthman. Yes? So this also shows that she was angry with him. And so they feel, and other bits and pieces of evidence as well, that yes, she might have had something to do with this, or at least was happy with it. And so here when the Imam, he says, I said all of this to corroborate what the Imam said in this part of his khutbah. He says, وَدَمًا هُمْ سَفَكُوا, a blood that they shed. They're holding me accountable for a blood that they shed. These bits and pieces of evidence kind of show what the Imam meant when he said that. Not that they were directly involved, but they might have been indirectly involved. Then the Imam goes into he starts making some arguments about this blood and in his involvement that inshallah I'm going to leave for our next session inshallah. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. I just want to, before I end, I got a call today by a member of one of the centers that we have. I don't want to mention which one. Unfortunately we've had our first case of coronavirus death with one of the Shia of DFW. I'm not going to mention like anything about them, but if you can recite al-Fatiha for their soul and ask Allah for patience for their family, inshallah ta'ala. Till we have tomorrow, not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, I just want to remind everybody that the EIS class will be happening after Salat at 9:30 inshallah on Saturday, because there's a private program happening for the anniversary of Imam Khomeini, and so there was a clash of timing, and so we had to move the class till then, and it's going to be on Facebook Live as usual inshallah. So keep that in mind as well, and keep us all in your du'as. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.